Nice! Oh, that's fucking awesome. Okay, alright. What a freaking cool game. I had no idea I was in for such a good time. I had a great time playing through that. Alright, we gotta... Well, hold on. Alright, that's credits, right? So let's turn this down a little bit. Well, yeah. Let's just let's get into it. So first things first, the bottom center of the screen says that we have completed 15 games in 2024, and 462 since we started doing this. Those numbers need to be updated now. It is now 16 games that we've completed in 2024, and 463 since we started doing this in 2020. Okay. Oh, sorry. I don't usually just effuse immediately in these things, but this game blew me away. This game blew me away. You know, I am very used to playing... I'm very used to playing short narrative experiences. It's something that I like to play them because A, they're short games. I get a quick, game beaten, right? And I enjoy that they're easy. There's no fail states usually. You can't get stuck. You don't waste a lot of time in them usually. So like these shorter narrative experiences are games that I find myself playing a lot. And I can't think of any right now that I enjoyed more than this one. I'm going to have to look at my rankings. I was expecting something like The Invincible, which I just played recently last month or in January. What's this? It's the only achievement I've gotten the whole game. Where it's like, it's a narrative thing. You walk through it. It's a bit of a walking sim. It's a little slow, but it's intriguing. It's like reading a book, It's not exactly edge of your seat stuff. But those games don't rank high for me. They just don't. They're games that it's like, yeah, it's like watching a TV, or it's like watching a movie that like a friend recommended, or I happen to be in the room when the TV's on and I'll watch them, and it's like, yeah, I enjoy them. Sure. It'd have to be pretty bad for me not to enjoy it. But I'm not raving about any of those games. I'm raving about Tacoma. Tacoma was just the way that you interact with that game is so... It's so immersive. I really felt like I was piecing together... It really is like you're piecing together a mystery. And if you told me that before I played it, I'd be like, okay, well, that sounds like a bunch of other games that I've played that were just okay to me. No way, man. This one was way, way, way better. It's just the story and the way that the story is slowly revealed is so organic and so satisfying. I'm going to have to look at my rankings, but like, I'm trying to think of like, what's a more narrative experience that's really ranked really high. The first one that came to mind while I was playing this, that this game reminds me of a little bit, is Observation, which is kind of like a horror rogue AI kind of a game where you play as the AI, and it's a great game. It's a great game, don't get me wrong, but it's a horror game. So it's got horror elements at least. And there's more different gameplay mechanics. Like there's quite a bit of puzzle solving. But you are like kind of you're piecing together a mystery as it's happening, whereas this is all kind of after the fact, But this game is different. I'm not saying it's better. That game is ranked 40 all time. Observation. I'm not saying I like this game as much as that, but the fact that I'm even entertaining that is way, way out of the norm for a narrative game like this one. I'm just blown away by how good the story is, how satisfying the story is. I never give a shit about story, almost ever. If the game's story wasn't any good, then there wouldn't be anything else here, right? I mean, that's what's really driving this. It's not like it's got a lot of RNG mechanics, I'm just trying to think, like, I'm looking at my list and I'm like, what are some good, like, really good narrative experiences? And honestly, Observation isn't as narrative driven as this, but like, a lot of the ones that come to mind are games like Fort Solace. They're walking sims. Dear Esther, The Invincible. They're games where you just walk through and you figure things out. I guess technically that's what this game is, but it felt like so much more than that, because it's more like what this game really feels like? It feels like you're reading someone else's diary, and and not just anyone's diary, but somebody that's done like a bunch of fucked up shit, or like somebody that's had a really dramatic life, just like, it's like, there's something about this game that's very voyeuristic that makes it really compelling. Like, to be able to go into a recording and you're seeing a group talking, and they're talking about whatever because they're trying to solve whatever problem. And then that recording, you see the bodies flow in different directions, and you follow one of them and they go into a room by themselves and start sobbing or having a panic attack. Like, there's something about it where I'm watching that it just felt real. And you know what? That couldn't have happened if the voice acting wasn't on point. And the voice acting in this game was on point. It was very, very well done and well written. Really well written. It was very believable. Again, I'm trying to think, like, this game is going to rank way, way higher than almost any other game I've played like this. Maybe any other game. I don't know if Observation really is a game like this. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But regardless, even if you don't play a lot of narrative experiences like I do, and if you haven't played this game, play this game. It is worth the 2.5 hours. Easy. And read everything. I probably didn't read quite everything, because when I started the game, I was doing what I normally do. It's like, all right, I'm not going to read all the lore or whatever. And I think I missed a couple of things at the beginning, but pretty quickly, just based on the mechanic of the game of watching these like echoes, watching these physical recordings of people coming and going and talking to each other and figuring out what all the relationships is, very quickly I got sucked into that and started like, okay, well, I need to know what the deal is with these people. Like, I pretty early on, within the first half hour, I had to like pause the recording. I was like, wait, so are they together? Or are these people together? And I'm like I'm pausing the recording to try and figure out, okay, like, are these two dates seeing each other? What's this guy's deal? And there was a lot of that the whole time, just trying to figure out, like, okay, so what does this person already know that this person doesn't? And then they come in and they're separate. This person's oblivious and this person knows a lot more or whatever. And then they come into a room together and start having a conversation. It's just titillating. It's extremely entertaining. And I never would have guessed that a game like this would be so entertaining, especially for someone like me who mostly likes Souls-likes and loot shooters. This is so out of the mold for what I would normally. And again, if you had explained it to me, what the premise of this game was, I wouldn't have probably been excited at all, because I've been like, okay, I've played 50 of those, so maybe not quite that many, but I've played a couple of dozen of those. I know what I'm getting into, but this game is so much more than that. I'm going to go after this recording and read the Wikipedia on this to make sure I didn't miss anything. I never do that. But I'm just so intrigued by the story. Okay, I'll shut up. I have no notes. I can't think of anything about this game that was... Was there anything about this game that I didn't like? No. It was perfect. It was just so well done. I mean, it's very different from usually if it's a game, if it's a Souls-like or if it's a genre I'm really familiar with, I'll have critiques because I know a lot about that genre. this genre is not something that I'm like really as into the numbers on, or I'm not into the details. So, what really carries a game like this is story, writing, maybe some technical things. Man, and the fact that it's not even a horror game. If I was raving about a game like this to my past self would assume that it was a horror game, because that's what really gets me going when it comes to narrative stuff, is horror. But this isn't a horror game. It's just a drama. But it's so good. I have no notes. I can't think of anything I would do that it could have done better. I would love for this company, who made this game? Fulbright. I'm gonna have to look up, like, does Fulbright make other games like this? I'll have to look it up later. I'll make a note for it. Man, what an incredible game! I can't believe how much I enjoyed this game. I was just glued to the screen the whole time. All right, that's it. We're done. What an awesome game. Last order of business, Tacoma. I'm so glad that I played this. I'm so glad that we finally got around to enjoying you. But we are now going to delete you from our console and never play you again. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for being you.